Hello, friends. Uh, so once again, I welcome you all for my lecture number 4 on polarization. Friends, in my previous lecture, that is lecture number 3, I discussed about polarization vector, and we have defined that polarization vector is sometimes referred as polarization density vector P, and it is defined as a dipole moment per unit volume. Now today we would like to derive an expression for the field of a polarized object. So we have a polarized object or a material, and because of this polarization there are all dipoles in this material, they are all lined up, and because of that you have a field because of the polarized object. So we are interested to find what is the field because of the polarization. So let us consider that here I have mentioned a figure number 1 where you have a polarized object which consisting large number of dipoles. Here I have mentioned a small volume element of the polarized object. This small volume element I referred as d tau prime, and you can see that this small volume element may consisting many dipoles. If there are n dipoles, then you will have to find out the field produced by each dipole, and you will have to sum up the field. So first of all, you look at this figure. Here I consider one dipole whose dipole moment is considered as a vector p. Here I have mentioned this is a small vector p, and I consider a point outside this object because we are interested to find the field outside this object. So consider that you have a point P, let us say, which is outside the object, which is a distance r from the center of the dipole, and this dipole is accumulated in the volume element d tau line. So what we will do, if we want to find the field at the point P because of the polarized object, first of all, we will find out the field at this point because of this volume element, and then to find the total field, we will integrate this the field which we have calculated by this volume element, and we will take the volume integration. And once you calculate the volume integration, you will be able to find the field because of this polarized object. So in this complete exercise, we know one parameter. The parameter is known as polarization vector P. So polarization vector P is known. So we know the dipole moment per unit volume of the specimen. So using this value of vector P, we will calculate the field at the point P, maybe electric field at this point because of all dipoles which are lined up in the volume of a given specimen. So here you see the method which I have adapted, that we know the field of an individual dipole. So we can chop the material into infinitesimal dipoles and integrate to get the total. So I mean to say that you first calculate the field because of the dipoles of volume element d tau prime, and you once you calculate the field because of all dipoles which are accumulated in this volume element d tau prime, to find the total field, you take the volume integrations. You will be able to find the total field because of the polarized object. So now to understand this exercise, let us try to understand uh, first the notation. You see here, I have used three parameters. I have used uh, the source point. Look at this source point. The source point is the point where I consider my dipole. So this is your dipole. You see, so you consider the dipole, and I defines its position vector of the dipole with respect to the origin of the coordinate center, origin of the coordinate system is known as vector r prime. So please remember, when I define vector r prime, I am basically indicating the position vector of each dipole of the specimen. So this is basically a dipole is kept at the source point. Then you have your point P where you want to calculate the electric field or a field, I would say. So the distance between the field point, this is known as the field point, and this is the source point, which we have already discussed in my previous classes also. So the distance between the source point and the field point is defined by a vector r, which I am writing the notation of this vector r. You please note down this. Now, with respect to the origin, the position vector of the field point I define as a vector r. You can see this. So there are symbols which we will take care. So this is basically known as the source coordinate. Our vector r prime I consider as the source coordinate. This vector r is known as the field coordinate, I would say. So I differentiate these two r. Vector r prime I indicate this as a source coordinate, and this vector r I define as the field coordinate. And this is the position vector of the field point where you want to calculate the field because of the polarized object. So vector r is known as the position vector of the field point with respect to the origin of the coordinate system. So our notations which we will use is mentioned in this figure, and you look at this, we will work out to find the field at this point. So what we will do, we will consider a small volume element d tau prime, right? We will find out the field at the point P because of the all dipoles present in the volume element d tau prime. Once you find out the field at a point P because of all dipoles accumulated in the volume element d tau prime, we will take the volume integration of that field to find the total field because of the all dipoles present in the polarized object. Because there are many dipoles, each volume element consisting n dipoles. That depends upon the density, right? So polarization density vector defines how many dipoles are present. So we will calculate the field because of the polarized object. So to do this, first of all, I take one dipole. You see, I have considered a one dipole, right? And I define a vector r. You see this vector r, right? The field coordinate, I would say. Your point P is at a distance r meter away from the center of the dipole. So first of all, to find the field at the point, I will first calculate the field because of one dipole. You see, this is a dipole, and we have calculated the field at this point. You see, there are various methods to calculate the fields. Generally, to deal with the vector field, it is difficult. So here we will calculate the potential first of all, because potential is a scalar quantity. And once you know the scalar quantity, you can add the, the total to find the total potential. You can have a scalar additions. So to find out the field, first of all, I will write down an expression of the electric potential seen by point P because of this dipole whose dipole moment is P. So we have studied in first year BSc that the potential at a distance r from the center of the dipole we know that we have calculated that if you have a dipole and if you want to calculate electric potential at a distance r from the center of the dipole, we have studied these expressions. So first of all, I calculate the potential because of the dipole on one dipole whose dipole moment is small vector p. See, there are two vectors. We have a dipole moment, that is electric dipole moment of each individual dipole, and we have a polarization density vector p, that is capital vector P, that is known as dipole moment per unit volume. The dipole moment has a unit coulomb into meter, while vector P, which we have mentioned, that is the polarization vector, has the unit of coulomb per meter square, because it is the dipole moment per unit volume. Dipole moment is coulomb into meter divided by meter cube is equal to coulomb per meter square. So this is known to you. So first of all, let us write down the expression for the potential at the point P at a distance r from the center of the dipole. So you can look at this expression. Here I write this expression which you know. So this is V, that is the potential at r. You see, this is the r because these are the positions, because this point whose position vector, look at this point P, and we are calculating potential at r because the point P has a position vector r, right? Its position vector is r with respect to the origin. So we write V at r here. You see, V at r because r is a position vector of point P. So we write V at r is equal to, so please note down this expression, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 P dot r divided by, this is the unit vector in the direction of a vector r. So please note that here the notation which we are using, this vector r, right, and there is a unit vector in the direction of this vector r. This is the vector r, and the same vector r which is referred here. So I'm writing the expression of electric potential because of only one dipole, and that expression is mentioned here. Look at this expression. So this is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 P dot r upon r square. Look, this, see here I have specifically mentioned here. Look at this vector r. Vector r is a vector from the dipole to the point at which we are evaluating the potential. Please remember these vector R, right, is the vector from the dipole to the from from the dipole to the point at which we are evaluating the potential. This is vector R. This is vector R. So this is your vector R, which we are writing here. So this potential I'm writing here. So this expression is known to you. Now, in the present context, the polarization vector, you see, you consider this is the volume element, right? This is the volume element d tau, and this is the dipole moment. So if you consider the polarization density vector, because polarization density vector is given, and polarization density vector, vector P, capital vector P is dipole moment per unit volume. So here I am writing this. Look at this. I write down vector P. Vector P, that is the polarization vector, is dipole moment per unit volume. So dipole moment of each dipole is defined as polarization vector d tau and the volume element d tau prime. Polarization vector at r prime, because this is the notation you have to remember. Here you see this is your r prime is the source coordinate, right? And your this source point, the source point has its position vector is r prime. What is r prime? R prime is the position vector of your source point, and we are calculating the dipole moment per unit volume at this location, and that's why we write this point here is equal to, so please remember, so each individual dipole moment is equal to polarization vector P into the volume element d tau prime. So here I can write this vector P. This vector P is simply PR into d tau prime. See, this you can write here, right? This you substitute this vector, and now we are interested to find the total potential. Right, we are interested to find the total potential, not because of the potential, because of this volume element. This is the one volume element, and you have another volume element, because you can divide the entire volume into such small volume elements. So you can see this expression which I have mentioned here, that I substituted this P, the dipole moment is substituted by vector P d tau prime. So you can see I write down vector P d tau prime. Then you have the r caret. So you have a r caret over r square, and I integrate over this. So this is basically giving you the total potential. Here I can write this V of R is not total potential. This is the potential because of the small volume element, but total potential I write down V at R is the volume integration of the integrand. This integrand is a 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. This is a 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. So 1 upon 4. This vector P is the dipole moment, is replaced by this factor, so which I wrote down here, into r caret divided by r square. So you can keep constant 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 outside. So I am taking 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 outside, and you have a volume integration of vector P, right, with unit vector r divided by r square, and you have the integration is carried out with respect to the volume element d tau prime. I hope you understand this part, because this is the potential because of only one dipole. If you want to calculate potential because of all dipoles, you have to integrate this expression over the volume element and over the entire volume, and you can get this expression. So this is the expression we want to solve. So please remember, if you want to find the field because of the polarized object, you have to find out the integration of this term. So now, once again, you see, I would like to mention what we have developed. We have considered a small volume element, right? This small volume element is considered as a d tau prime. I took one dipole of that volume element and I calculated its potential at a distance r. Then I calculated the potential because of all dipoles of this volume element, and then I took the volume integration over the entire volume of this specimen to get the total potential at point P. Because potential is the scalar quantity, so we can have the scalar addition, we can add the potential, right, and we can find the total potential because of the polarized object. So now look at this picture where we have represent the different vectors. So now from this figure we can say that the source coordinate r prime, right? The source coordinate r prime. This is basically the position vector of the source point, right? So this position vector of the source point is vector r prime plus vector r, that is the vector r, which is the source vector. I the field point, that is known as the field coordinate. So source coordinate vector r prime plus the field coordinate vector r is always equal to the position vector r of a point P with respect to the origin of the coordinate system. So if I apply the vector algebra here, so I can write down vector r prime plus vector r is always equal to the position vector of a point P, that is vector r, with respect to the origin of the coordinate system. So once again, I'm saying vector r prime plus vector r is equal to the position vector r of the field point. So this expression here I'm writing here. So look at this expression. So this is the expression which I'm writing from figure. The source coordinate vector r prime plus the field coordinate vector r is equal to the position vector of the point P, which is the point where we are calculating the potential because of the polarized object. So we can simply rewrite this expression. Then this vector r, that is the field vector r, right, is given by vector r minus r prime. So please remember this. This is a expression which you should remember. Now you see, first of all, in first year BSc, you know that we have found that a gradient of a scalar is always a vector. So we know that a gradient of 1 upon r, please remember. So gradient of 1 upon r, basically gradient is a differential operator, and it, when it operates on the operand, it will differentiate the function. So when gradient operator operates on 1 upon r, It gives you del by del r of 1 upon r. You see in the direction of vector r, because we are working with the vector r. This vector r is the field coordinate. See, this is the vector r. Look at this notation, vector r, and this vector r. Look at the figure. This is your vector r, which is measuring the distance between the source point and field point. So this vector r is basically measuring the distance between the source point and the field point. So we take gradient of 1 upon r, gradient of 1 upon r, because your field point, because your dipoles are, you have a different dipoles. So you have this vector r is continuously changing here, you see. So you take a gradient of 1 upon r, gradient of 1 upon r is, you can write, is equal to, you look at this expression which where I wrote it here, is basically differentiation del by del of 1 upon r in the direction of r, and del by del r of 1 upon r is minus 1 upon r square in the unit direction of r. So this is known to you. So please remember, this factor is already we have used in first year BSc. But now I want to use another notation. I write down del prime. You see, this is the del operating on 1 upon r. And now if I write del prime operating on 1 upon r, the prime indicates that you have to differentiate with respect to the source coordinate. Please remember. Here, if you take gradient of 1 upon r, if there is no prime, then you are differentiating with respect to r. This is the r is the distance between the source point and the field point. But if I take a del prime operating on 1 upon r, then this prime indicates that you differentiate 1 upon r with respect to source coordinate. That means with respect to r prime, not with respect to r. Look at this is the r, which is basically a vector which determines the distance between the source point and the field point. And here I have a prime notation which basically indicates that you have to differentiate with respect to the source coordinate, and you see the source coordinate is, I write down r prime, and these r prime I have mentioned in this figure. This is your source coordinate r prime. Please remember here. Okay, because we are taking different dipoles. We have to take different dipoles of different given volume elements. So here, this r prime is also changing. You see, correct? So our basic interest is that you want to take the gradient of 1 upon r, right? When you are taking a gradient of 1 upon r, so when you see it, and the gradient is, I get the prime notation. This prime, del prime 1 upon r indicates del by del r dash. You have to differentiate with respect to the source coordinate, because you have a different dipoles. Dipole number 1, dipole number 2, dipole number 3, dipole number 4, dipole number 5, dipole number 6. Many dipoles are there. So these dipoles are changing. So their source. So here you see, as per the figure, this source point. So the position vector of the source point is changing because you have a different dipoles in the given specimen, right? And that's why we are taking the differentiation with respect to the source coordinate. And you can see here I take del by del r dash of 1 upon r unit vector r. So del by del r dash I'm writing, and you see this vector r which we have calculated, the vector r which measures the distance between the source point and field point is given by vector r minus r prime, which I have discussed. So I write down this 1 upon r is equal to vector r minus r prime, right? So you differentiate this. So the differentiation is minus 1 upon r minus r prime square and del by del r of, you see, r minus r prime. This is known to you. I am differentiating this, right? So this is del by del r prime of 1 upon r minus r prime is minus 1 upon r minus r prime square and del by del r prime of r minus r prime. So del by del r prime operating on r, that is 0 because but del by del r prime operating on minus r prime is minus 1. So minus 1 into minus gives you plus. So this factor is giving you 1 upon r minus r prime whole square in the direction of a unit vector r. And this is, you see, r minus r prime is r minus r prime is again vector r. So it is r square. So please remember that del prime operating on 1 upon r is given as unit vector r over r square. Correct? Look at this. So this we want to use this. So please remember, so this differentiation prime indicates that you have to differentiate with respect to the source coordinate, and source coordinate is r prime. Source coordinate means the coordinate, the vector, position vector of the source point. Position vector of the source point. Position vector of the source point, you see, that is r prime. Here this r prime here. So this is the position vector of the source point, and here this is mentioned. This is the position vector of the source point. So this, you please consider this. This is very important, and you should note down this. And when you prepare for your examination, please remember the notation of each vector r and see the vector algebra how we have applied. And now you see this expression. Look at this expression of the potential because of the field because of the polarized object is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. This is the polarization vector at r prime, dot r upon r square. You see your unit vector r over r square. I can simply write down this unit vector r over r square. I can simply write down here unit vector r over r square is simply, I can write down grade del prime operating on 1 upon r. Okay, please remember. So this r upon r square, I can write unit vector r over r square. Look at this unit vector r over r square. Simply I can write down gradient prime with the prime notation 1 upon r. So I can write this factor as, so you can rewrite this expression. So when you rewrite this expression, you can see here, look at this expression which I wrote it here. This is the same expression. This is expression is same expression. You look at this expression with this expression, and these expressions are essentially same. You see this expression. This is the potential, total potential of, because of the field of a polarized object is this, and this expression I simply write it here, the same expression here. So I write this expression P of r dash dot r over r square. R over r square is del with the prime notation operating on 1 upon r d tau prime. Always remember the vector r, the different vector r, the source vector, the field vector, and the position vector of your field point are very important. So you can see this same expression I'm writing here, V of r equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. You have a volume integration. P, this is not a dipole moment, this is the polarization vector at r prime operating and with a scalar product of del operating on 1 upon del prime operating on 1 upon. Now you see this product. This is the scalar product of vector p with gradient of 1 upon r with the source coordinates, right? This product we can find out. We have studied that if you have a divergence of product of, you see I have a divergence. Phi is a scalar, is a vector. So if I have a divergence of a product of a scalar into a vector phi is a scalar, a is a vector. If you take a divergence of phi a is given by phi into divergence of a plus a dot grade phi. There is a, this is a vector, vector sign is missing. Phi is scalar, a gradient of phi is a vector, so this grade phi is a vector. So here there is a note, the notation is missing here, there is a printing mistake. Please excuse me. So grade phi is a vector, and this vector and this vector there is a scalar product, so this will be a total scalar. And here you have a divergence of a will be a scalar, right? Divergence of any vector will be some number you will get, and the phi is already a scalar, so you will get a scalar. Divergence is scalar, so this is scalar. So now you see, you can see that here you can look at this product. Our product is, we have two products here. One is a vector p. Your a is your vector, a is vector p, and 1 upon r is replaced by phi. 1 upon r is basically a phi. So I can replace phi as 1 upon r, and vector a is p of p at r dash. Right? So you can see your phi is replaced by 1 upon r and a is replaced by p. So a is replaced by p, and phi is replaced by 1 upon r. So we can write this. Okay. And now what we want to find out? We want to find out this product. Vector p dot gradient of 1 upon r with respect to the source coordinate. So you can see from this, I can calculate this vector p with a gradient of 1 upon r, right? I can write equal to, you see this is the divergence of p by r minus 1 upon r. This I can say, right? See here, this is the general, I have not used here the del nor the prime notation. We will use the prime notation once we substitute in the integral. Right now, I'm writing in a general form where I have not used the prime notation, dear friends. You see, this is the general form. So the general form is this, that vector p with a gradient of 1 upon r is given as, you see, this is the vector p with a gradient of 1 upon r. This form is similar to this form. So vector p with a gradient of 1 upon r is divergence of vector p divided by r minus 1 upon r divergence of p. But if you want to substitute in this, so you have to write down wherever del appears, you have to write down del prime, right? So when if you substitute this expression here, you will have to write down wherever del appears, you have to write down del prime. So you look at this expression, and you can see now. So I 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 I am writing under volume integration. Now you see this product p. So this is p, gradient of 1 upon r, but it is del prime. So you see I write down del prime. So del, instead of writing del, I write del prime, del dot p by r, divergence of p by r. So you calculate divergence with respect to the source coordinate. Right? Divergence of p by r with respect to the source coordinate. So you have to differentiate with respect to the source coordinate. Minus 1 upon r, so it is minus 1 upon r. And divergence of p, divergence del, but because we have a del prime here, so write del dot prime theta. So I hope you understand this step. So now you can simplify this step in this form. So I can split this part. So V of r is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 divergence of PR with respect to the source coordinate, right? Minus 1 upon r divergence of vector p. This is vector p with respect to the source coordinate. This is the polarization vector d tau prime. This is a volume integration. This is also a volume integration, right? Now you see this volume integration can be converted into the surface integration using Gauss's theorem, or right, or divergence theorem. So you can see the divergence theorem is this, that volume integration of a divergence of any vector function, right? Volume integration of a divergence of any vector function is always equal to the surface integration of that vector function which is taken over the surface. Or you may can say like this way, that the surface integration of any vector function, this is a vector function f, it may be electric field, it may be magnetic field, any vector function. A vector function, surface integration of any vector function which is taken over the entire surface is always is equal to the volume integration of the divergence of that vector function taken over the volume which is enclosed by the same surface. This is the divergence theorem. So you can apply divergence theorem here. This is divergence of, you see, divergence of f. This f, your f is p by r, vector p by r. Please remember, your f is vector p by r. So you convert this. So it is f dot dA, right? But now we are talking about the source coordinate, and source coordinates are here referred by prime notation. Source coordinates are defined by prime notation. So you see, I think this is p by r dot dA, f is p by r. So p by r dA, instead of writing dA, I write prime because we are talking about the source coordinate. So I write down dA prime, right? Minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, and this step I am writing 1 upon r divergence of p d tau. You see this, okay? And now look at this. We have studied the polarization law. The first term, you see this term, p dot dA prime looks like this, p dot dA. And you see the unit vector n is vector dA prime upon dA prime. This is this, you know. You see this is dA prime. Please remember this is dA prime. This notation. So you please write down dA prime here. dA prime. Please note down. So this is vector p dot nda, right? And you know p dot n. We know that vector p dot n is simply sigma b. We know that surface charge density of the bound charge is sigma b is always given by a scalar product of vector p with unit vector n. This is we have developed. P dot n is sigma b. So sigma b, and you please write down this is dA prime. So this is dA prime. Please write down it is prime notation. Here there is an error which I made. So this is sigma b dA because we are taking with respect to the source coordinate. Okay. So you can write down here, and you know, minus divergence of p and rho b. We have calculated the volume charge density. The volume charge density is always divergence of p is always minus rho b, which we have calculated. This is minus sign, minus divergence of p. I'm taking this minus sign here. Minus divergence of p is basically rho b, and because you know that volume charge density of the bound charges is always negative divergence of vector p, which we have developed. So you can see here, I can write down here, you see sigma b here, dA prime appears here, you see, because this is dA prime. There is a prime notation, please note down. So this is p dot dA prime is sigma b dA over r, right, plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. And this is 1 upon r, this is rho b over d tau prime. So you see the potential is because of potential due to the surface charges, and this is the potential because of the bound charges. We can have this expression like this. So what we have proved here, you see basically the total potential, hence also the field. Once you know the potential, you can calculate the field. Negative gradient of potential is the field, correct? So we consider the first electric potential, and once you know the electric potential, we can calculate. The field of a polarized object is the same. So what we have developed here today, the potential of a polarized object is the same as that produced by the volume charge density plus a surface charge density. So field of a polarized object is the same as that produced by a volume charge density rho b plus a surface charge density. So today we have developed a expression for the potential because of the polarized object, that is the field because of the polarized object, and it is the same as that produced by volume charge density rho b, that is minus divergence of vector p plus a surface charge density sigma b, the surface charge density. That means I would say that the total potential is because of the potential due to the surface bound charges plus potential due to the volume bound charges. So you see, this is kq by r, something like this. This is kq by r. This is also like kq by r. So this is the simple expression which we have derived. And today we have found that if you have a polarized object, and because of the polarized object, there are dipoles in that object, they are all lined up. And because they are all lined up in that object, it will produces the resultant field. And the resultant field which we have calculated using this expression. So I'll stop here, and next lecture we will see the numerical problems related to the polarized object. Thank you.